That's Kalende.
Yes, as I was saying, students, positive numbers are to the right of 0, they are larger than negative numbers. Negative numbers are to the left of the 0 side. Right? Nice. For those who join in late, we are now discussing where we use positive numbers in real life, right? And we are saying the banking system, right? If you owe money or you have to pay money, it's a negative, right? And if you have money or somebody give you money, it's a positive, right? Next. Good. Our next example, students, could be temperature, right? Temperature. You have positive temperatures and negative temperatures. Yeah. So, if we in the tropical climate, you sound hot in Trinidad, you know, the temperature is 32 degrees outside, right? But if you're going to cold places and them around winter time, it could be below 0 degrees Celsius, right? It might be -2 degrees Celsius at cool temperatures, right? So, negative numbers are used to tell temperature as well, right? But we do experience in Trinidad because we do have food, right? Right. Somebody read from here. Arlan, read.
Where do we use negative numbers in our lives? We use negative numbers less than 0 daily, and we might not even realize it. We use negative numbers in real life in the following ways: temperature, buttons in our lift, goal differences in soccer, sports leagues, tables, depths in our swimming pool. Other real life contexts, such as bank/credit union, or post office account balances, also use negative numbers. The money you lodge/put into your bank account is a positive number because you are adding it into your account. When you spend money, or if you withdraw/take out money from your account, then that is a negative number because you are taking it from your account.
Right. So everybody like positive numbers because we like to have money. We like to see money coming in your account. But hardly anybody like money going. They don't like negative numbers, right? Yeah, and the reality of it, negative numbers is a troubling topic, right? And if you don't understand negative numbers, you're going to struggle in algebra, right? Degrees, right? You can see that in daily life. You owe somebody money, you find negative next day, right? Nice. Below sea level, it could be considered as negative, right? Elevator floor, right? If you have ground level, you have ground level, for ground level 0, right? Then you're going up the second floor, the third floor, etc. And then if you go down, -1 meaning you're going down in the basement, and then you could have a sub-basement, right? The stock market, golf, right? So now you might see in golf, you have a score -3, right? A -3 beats, let's say, +5, right? This is the winner here in golf. But I know you don't really play golf that much, but I thought they score in golf, right? Nice. So, let me start the content of the work now, right? Adding and subtracting directed numbers, right? NOS is short for numbers, right? Nice. So, in primary school, you tell you, hey, where is 3 plus 5? We know 3 plus 5 is 8. But in secondary school now, we understand here what? Every single number has a sign, right? It's either positive or negative. If you don't have a sign in front of it, automatically it is positive. So in this case, we can say here what? Plus 3 plus 5 is equal to plus 8. These two sentences, these two statements, these two equations are exactly the same, right? Nice. There's a law. There are two laws really in adding and subtracting directed numbers, and these two laws are very simple, right? Yeah. I'll show you all the laws of quickly, right? So let's just say in a similar manner now here, students. Here what? We have -3 minus 5. The answer here is going to be -8, right? So by looking at this here, we can generalize our law. I'll give one more example, right? -2 minus 5 is equal to minus 7. So the law here, students, when we have same signs, this is law number 1. When we have same signs, we sum them together and keep the sign. Right? And that is the simplest law here. The first law is same signs, add and keep the same sign, sum and keep the same sign. S is for same sign, S is for sum. Sum means to add. Right? So for example, minus 3 minus 2, that's take it out of the table. Minus 3 minus 2 minus 1 minus 5. Everything here carrying the same signs? Yes, everything here carrying a negative. The 2 carrying a negative, the 1 carrying a negative, the 5 as well as the 3. So you see everything carrying the same sign. So the simple law is here what? Sum and keep the same sign. So 3 and 2 is 5 and 1 6 and 5 is 11. So you have negative 11 here, right? Yeah? Now, same thing with addition. If you have plus 3, plus 2, plus 4, same signs, everything is carrying a positive here. So we add and keep the same sign. So 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 3 is 9. Positive 9 is the answer here, right? Nice. Why you show hands all who understand this law here? Same signs, add and keep the same sign. Let's see. 18 students in the chat here. I should have 18 hands up here. Right? This thing easy. I know this already. Right? Just a revision. And before we go into the harder stuff, I don't want to assume you all know everything before we go into the harder stuff, right? Later down the road, we're going to solve equation and we're going to see different laws in algebra. Distributive law, right? Different laws coming on here, right? Next, good. Right. So, yeah, I like to take for the students, right? All over here, we decide either watch some form of movie or you play some form of video game, right? So we could compare this with superheroes and villains, right? So let's put superheroes here. And put villains in green, right? Ireland, give me 2 superheroes there. 2 of your favorite superheroes.
Superman and Spider-Man.
Alright, Superman and Spider-Man. Somebody else, give me one.
Batman.
Batman or Batman? Batman? Alright.
Yeah.
Give me some villains. Nothing that I can spell, give me some nice one. Easy one.
Joker.
Huh?
Joker.
Joker. Alright. And next one, somebody else.
The Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. Who again?
Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. Let's make sure it's time if I spell something wrong, eh? Octopus. Correct? Yeah? Nice. So I'm gonna assign some scores here, students, right? So the superheroes are them, right? They are the good people, so we call them the positive people. The villains, we call them the negative people, right? Because they're bad, right? Nice. So Spider-Man, let's give you a score of 10. Sorry, Superman. Spider-Man, we will give you a score of 5, and Batman, we will give you a score of, let me say 3, right? Joker, bad people, so we call him negative, let me say negative 9. Green Goblin, negative 8. Dr. Octopus, negative 7. The my next villain day. Because negative numbers will give you trouble now. So you have more bad people only, right? In my next one. So that villain again. Colin, I know you like them video games. Tell me somebody fast. Nobody? Come to mind?
Doomslayer.
Who?
Doomslayer.
Doomslayer are too long to spell by.
Thanos.
Thanos? TNOS? Yeah? Right. That's right. I don't have Mamaka sticking here. Thanos. Somebody named Thanos, right? T. That's not sorry, but I think it's sticking out over here. And I'm gonna sort it out the next class, right? Are you seeing the screen still?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the Zoom sticking out a bit here. So look at this here, right? So look at this. Batman team up with Spider-Man, right? So guess what? They're gonna get stronger. When two of them team up here, students, they're gonna get stronger. So you're gonna get +8, right? Same signs, add and keep the same sign. Now, when two supervillains team up together, they're also going to get stronger, but they're going to get more evil, right? So Thanos are going to put a score for key of, let's say, -2, right? He's not so strong. So let's say Joker team up with Green Goblin, all of them team up together. All four villains team up together, right? I want you to write the answer in the chat for me. What the answer going to be? Joker team up with Green Goblin, with Octopus, with Thanos. Which one going to be? Right, that's the answers coming in. Right, I want you to keep in mind, when we teaming them up, we apply any laws of directed numbers here, right? And I'm using this example to show you all how directed numbers is, right? So, right, Iron Omega for this one. Okay? I see most people get the correct answer. Ireland? Very good. Rahim?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Dave. My mic wasn't coming on.
Oh, good.
-26.
-26. So most people got 26. I see some people put the negative sign, some people didn't put the negative sign. So it's very important to indicate that if a number is negative, you need to put that negative sign in there, right? So we say same signs here, add and keep the same sign, right? And we can say, okay, 7 and 2 is 9, 9 and 9 is 18, 18 and 8 is 26. So -26. So you can see here, students, a relatable example where when you have the same signs coming together, right, they're going to get stronger, sum them and keep the same sign, right? And it's really simple. If you add up all these superheroes together, well, that's easier. The form of superheroes here because positive numbers easy to work with, right? 10 and 5, 15 and 3, 18. All of them come together with the 18, right? So after let's put 18 here together, if all of them come together, right? Plus 10, plus 3, plus 5 equals to plus 18. Right, nice. Nice. So everybody understand the flow. The first law of directed numbers here, same sign, and keep the same sign, right? The reason why I'm emphasizing these laws and students is because it has students in Form 4 and 5 that struggle with these laws a lot, right? They tie up themselves, right? And the reason why they tie up themselves is because they're mixing them up with the multiplication laws, right? So the way you all tie it up with multiplication laws. Right now we're doing the addition and subtraction laws. We're moving on to the second law now, students, right? So before you go to the second page, I'm going to screenshot something here. So I just back the same thing here, right? Next. Yeah. Now again, another hurry to write. I will send you all the notes afterwards. Take it away, right? And nothing in C-Sec math or secondary school mathematics is hard. Everything easy. Simple, you to understand the concept, practice, and revise it. Right, look at this now. Now, obviously, if a superhero fight a villain, right? Sometimes the superhero going to win, sometimes the villain going to win. Right? It will always happen that the superhero always wins, right? In reality. Right? Nice. So the different signs go now, students. The different signs law is simple. D is for different signs, D is to find the difference. And difference means to subtract or take away. Right? And when you use the different signs law, you find the difference, or you subtract, and you keep the bigger sign. And when you use the word bigger, you use the word heavier sign. Keep the heavier sign. Right? Or keep the winning sign. Right? Nice. So let me give you an example, alright? So for example, students, we have -3 plus 11. Colin, are these signs same signs or are these signs different? Mr. Colin? Are these signs the same or are these signs different? Look at it.
I think these signs are different. These signs are different.
The signs obviously are different because the 3 carrying a negative and the 11 carrying a positive. So if it's different, we cannot use the same signs law and we cannot go and add and keep the same sign, right? We cannot use this first law here, right? So if they are different here, students, we find it different and you keep the heavier side, you keep the winning side. So 11 take away 3 is 9. And you keep the sign of the bigger number. People say the bigger number, but I prefer using with heavier number. Or the one that's winning. The one that's doing the subtracting. Then 11 is obviously going to outweigh 3. So the answer is positive 9 or just 9 alone, right? Nice. Colin, you will be doing this
Yes.
next number, right? Minus 7 plus 2. Are these different signs, Colin?
The answer will be -5.
Negative 5. Why negative 5? Different signs, so we find the difference. We subtract. 7 take away 2 is 5, and you keep the negative here. Next person. Ismail. In class today? What's the name of the child? Thelma.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Minus 1 plus 15. Are these different signs, Ismail?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the answer.
Um,
We're going to find the difference. We're going to take away.
positive for 14, sir.
Positive 14 is correct. Arlan, next one. 3 minus 9, Arlan. Are you ready?
3 minus 9 is
Mm-hmm.
6. No, wait. Sorry. My bad. -6.
Negative 6. Okay. What sign did you carry in?
Positive.
Understood to be positive, so you can put a positive here. And then realize different signs, so you're going to subtract. 9 take away 3 is 6. You keep the heavier sign. This is the heavier sign here, so minus 6 is correct. Right. Let us go back to the example. I want to show you how you can read this to the example up here, right? So, you have the superheroes and the villains, right? If they go to fight now, right? Superman go to fight Joker. 10 take away 9, right? So, 10 take away 9. Obviously, the answer is positive 1. Superman win by 1 point, right? Now, is Spider-Man go to fight Joker now? Who will in a fight now, Alan? Spider-Man go to fight Joker.
Joker.
Right, Joker can win. Right? How much Joker going to win by?
Joker would win by 4.
By 4. So, you just put 4 in the answer here? Tell me.
No, only negative.
You put in the negative here, showing that the negative person winning. Right? The negative sign winning,
Yeah.
right? So that's why it's
Mhm.
important, your students. Different signs law, you find the difference and keep the heavier side, the winning side, right? Nice. That's gonna some of these two laws here now, right? Addition slash subtraction laws, right? And in algebra, you have plenty laws to learn. Once you understand the laws and you learn of the law, you need to apply it to questions. So these same simple laws and them, you can just apply them to solve the equations later along the road. Right? If you don't understand these laws, you can't solve the equations, right? Right? Good. So the first law here, students, is the same signs law. And the same signs law is when you have same signs, you add and keep the same sign. The second law is the different signs law. And when you add the different signs law, we're going to subtract and keep the bigger sign. Now when you do it bigger, I say about heavier sign, right? Example, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, add up everything, keep the same sign, minus 6. Alright, example here, minus 4 plus 10, different signs, you're going to subtract and keep the bigger sign, so that's plus 6. Example again, minus 2 plus 1 minus 1. And last example, right? 4, take away 9, right? Different signs, yes. Subtract and keep the bigger sign. 9 take away 4 is 5, negative 5, right? Good. By the show of hands, all who understand both laws. Anybody have any questions? Right? So, an easy way to remember something in maths or to master something in maths is to explain it to somebody. So if your friends struggling in directed numbers, see if you can explain it for them, right? You can explain using anything, right? You can tell them, here what? If I have $10 and I owe in the bank $12, calculate the final balance. I have $10, right? So I put a positive here, but I owe in the shopkeeper $12. Final balance. Well, different signs here, right? You're gonna subtract and keep the bigger sign. So 12 take away 10 is 2. And you need to put a negative there to show that you're still owing $2, right? So you could still talk in terms of having and owing, right? Yeah? That's one way to look at it. If you use a number line, right? Negative 12 is 12 spaces to the left, right? And if you go positive 10 spaces to the right, you're in a bucket negative 2, right? So sometimes using number line to explain things. You could use a real life example, or you could use the example that I use here, right? With the superheroes and the villains, right? If the superheroes team up together, they're like the same signs coming together. You add them up to the sign. If they're going to fight, you take away the subtract and you put the sign of the person who winning. Not always the superhero going to win. In the movies, yeah, the superheroes always win. But in reality, right? That always happen, right? The villains could beat the superheroes winning, right? Right. Good. So this is what I wanted to teach you all in the first lesson here, and I have a practice exercise for you all to do. But I won't send the exercises yet. I want to show you all one more thing, right? Yeah, I'll just show you all one more thing here, right? I see some hands up. Nathan, you have a question?
Oh, I forgot to raise my hand down.
Oh, okay. Right. So when we have multiple signs coming together, right? What we could do, students, is make sure that rearrange the signs and into suit, and then you apply the laws to suit, right? So, for example, this question here, right? You can apply the same signs law here, right? Same signs, and I keep the same sign. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 1 is 6, so you have minus 6 here. Yes, you apply the same signs law with the positive, so you have plus 11. And then apply the different signs law, right? So you apply the same signs law here, applying SS for same sign, SS for same sign, right? DS for different signs law here now. Subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. 11 take away 6 is 5, so we have positive 5 here, right? So I want you all to understand this before we go into algebra and algebra terms, right? Understand how to do more than one directed number terms and not subtracting here, right? So let's pay attention to this next example here, right? Right, so if you have something like this to do, students, right, what I recommend you do, rearrange the terms, group all the negatives together, group all the positives together, and you see from there, right? You will see from there. So we put all the negatives together, right? You have minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, so we can apply the law here, and some of that, and then you apply the 2 and the 8 here together, right? So you can simplify this one together, so that you work this out now. When you work this out, we get students, apply the same signs here, we go. Anybody? You apply the same signs for this first three terms here.
So die negative 5, negative 6, and negative 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, negative 18.
Negative 18. But the reason why I want to show you all this for is that then the terms that won't be always nice and neat together. You have to rearrange it. When you rearrange it, this 7 carrying this sign, eh? So once you move in the 7, you move in the 7 with the negative sign, right? Yeah? You can shift the 7 and move them here. And remember that 2 have a positive in front of it. The 8 have a positive in front of it, right? So you keep them positive together, right? Yeah? And then you sum of this together. Same sign and the same sign. 8 plus 2 is 10. And now, finally, last but not least, we apply the difference signs law here, which is, if you don't know the difference signs law, go back to your notes. Do I have a cue card with this? You know, there's a cue card, and there's a cue card here. So you can always remind yourself what is the two laws, right? Difference signs, subtract and keep the bigger sign. Right? So you can subtract this here quickly. 18 take away 10 is 8. So that's correct? 8 is the answer. Tell me.
-8, sir.
Negative 8. Why negative 8? Because you keep the sign of the bigger one. You can have the one, right? Good. So I have 2 questions for you all to try, right? And I will send an exercise for you all today, right? We won't go the full hour today. I'll put a class after this today, right? Because I've finished the teaching point, but I want you all to do the exercise for the rest of class. The exercise typically I will have 20 minutes to do, right? Yeah, so do these 2 questions, you'll correct these 2 questions in class now, and then that will be the end of class for today, right? Alright, so then number 1.
Excuse, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, talk to me.
So I just want to be sure, right? So when you have a negative number and a positive number, you just have to minus it.
Yeah, once a negative term and a positive term added together, right?
Yeah.
Is like they kind of like battling off each other now. Like let me say one fighting the other, so you have to take away.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and you keep deciding with the
Yeah.
one that's winning, right?
Right. Yeah.
So in this case, the positive term winning, so you put the positive in the answer. In this case, the negative term winning, so you keep the negative in the answer, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If a term is a first term and I do have a sign, this number is understood to be positive, right?
All right. No problem.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, do them 2 questions quick. We have 3 minutes to do this, and we're correcting it. I'll send the document for you so you can take down the little notes and stuff. It's not much notes, right? Next class, I want to go on to algebra, some stuff in algebra, but I want to revise this first, and we'll go on to some stuff in algebra, right? And I'll correct the homework next day too. So next class, we will go the full hour, right? Today we will go the full hour. Any more questions? Okay. And your homework as well is to see if you can explain this to somebody. You might have a friend in school, or your parents at home. If anybody has some free time, tell them you want to explain something to them. Because the best way to learn something is if you can explain it to somebody else, or if you can teach it to somebody else, right? You could come up with your own unique way of teaching something, your own way to remember something, and that the best way to remember something. It will be in memory for a longer period of time. And you try to learn off the exact thing from the book, right? If you learn the exact words from the book, you might just remember it until the exam. After the exam, you might forget it, right? Right, so let's go at this now. First one, right? You're gonna rearrange the terms together. You could choose however you want to rearrange the terms. I'm gonna rearrange the positive terms first. So I'm gonna rearrange my 2 and 7 and my 5 together. So I'm gonna do this plus 2 plus 7 plus 5, and I'll group my negative terms together after. Right? Minus 6 minus 5 minus 3. It is very important how you write the work as well. Right? You write everything in one flowing sentence, right? One flowing line, right? No big spaces in between or big gaps or anything, right? So you simplify here, student. Same sign and keep the same sign. You get positive 14. Add this up together, what you get? So you have
The answer?
14. Say again?
I can say the answer, sir.
Yeah? No, no.
The answer is 3. Positive 3.
Yes, no. Let me just double check that, right? 6, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. Did you get positive 14 minus 14?
No.
Very
So I add the positives.
good. Mm-hmm.
So 7 plus 5 is 12. 2 add 12 is 14.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 add 5 is 11.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 oh God. I make a mistake then.
You forget the 3 here, right? So
I make a mistake.
14 take away 14, right? Whether it's positive 14 take away 14 or negative 14 plus 14, both of them is going to give you 0. They cancel off each other, right? Yeah? So
Yes,
the
sir.
first answer is actually 0. Who got this correct? Let me see your hand. Right? So sometimes they could get 0, right? Sometimes two people fight, nobody when you fight it through, right? Next. Right, we have 1 minute again. Let me do the last one now. Right? You could group your positives again first if you want. Right? I'll group my 5 and my 7 together, and I'll group my negative. -1, -9, -8. 7 plus 5 is 12. And I get -18 here. So the answer, different sign. Subtract and keep the bigger sign. So -6. Who got -6 for this here? Your hand. Alright, good work, students. I'll see you all next week Monday, same time. Alright, I'll send the homework and I'll send the document for you and the recording for those who cannot make it for the live class, right?
So it's only like a Monday to having classes or not?
For now, Mondays, yeah. For this term, I already want to have class on Saturday, but I'll be busy Saturday right now. But the class will be on a Monday for this term, right?
Thank you, sir.
Alright, so I'll see you all next time, right? Any problems, message me.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright.